All right, we're just going to get started finding a comfortable seat. So if your body's okay with it, let's start with your right leg crossed in front of the left. If you want to follow along with the music, I'm going to start the first song on the playlist right now. And then just give yourself a moment to ground yourself in this seated position. Really try to feel the sitting bones rooted. And from the base of the spine, breathe in. Feel like you're lengthening out through the crown of the head. And keeping that length as you exhale, also allow yourself to soften. So just beginning to find that balance between strength and ease, really allowing the breath to flow naturally right now. So observe the breath, but try not to change a thing about it right now. Just notice it. And then I just want you to check in with your energy. So if you're feeling tired or if you're feeling excited or joyful, and I want you to breathe in a way that feeds whatever it is you're looking for right now. So just knowing that every breath in activates the sympathetic nervous system. So a lot of times we think of that as fight or flight, but that can also be joy and happiness comes with that sympathetic activation. And then every time we breathe out, we're actually activating the parasympathetic nervous system, that place of rest and calm and digest. So if you've had a busy day and you're just looking to unwind, maybe think about making your exhales a little bit longer than the inhales. So really what you're doing is just taking a little bit of control over your nervous system by taking some control over your breath. Longer inhale to give yourself more energy. Longer exhale if you just need that winding down sensation. And taking just a few more deep breaths, giving yourself whatever it is you need right now. And then with your next breath in, we'll sweep the arms high overhead. Find length on both sides of the body right now. And then on your exhale, take your left hand down to the left side of the body. Start to reach your right fingertips up and over. So while you're here, think about rolling the right shoulder back. Really look for that length from the right hip up to the fingertips. And I just want you to think about pressing the right knee down towards the earth so the right hip stays heavy to create that extra bit of length. So once you're here, take a breath in, expand into the right ribs. And then we're going to move with the breath out. Start to feel like you're rolling the right shoulder down as if you're going to reach the right fingertips towards the left side of the room. Fold over the left leg. Let the head hang heavy here. So think forehead to the left knee. And then the breath in, let's open up again. Roll the right shoulder back, spin the heart open. And then on the exhale, drop the right shoulder down. Try to keep that length on the right side of your body. Taking that one more time, inhale, open up. Exhale, roll it down, hold here for a few breaths. And as you hold, I just want you to notice if you're a little lighter in the right hip. Try to drop the right knee down again. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, just very mindfully walk your hands to center so that you square off your body to the top of your mat. Let your upper body hang heavy. Get heavy in the arms, so put that soft bend in the shoulders. Maybe let the forehead fall in the direction of the earth. And then wherever you're experiencing some sensation in your body, that's where we're going to try to direct the breath. And with every breath in, it's like you're expanding into that space. Every breath out, getting a little bit heavier. We'll go one more round of breath. And then one vertebra at a time, very slowly begin to rise. Stack the shoulders over the hips. Take a moment to switch out the crossing of your legs. So we're going for left leg in front of the right. But again, if your body does not feel good in that shape, find one that does feel okay for you. Just taking a moment to reset, recenter, stack the shoulders, soften the face. We'll take a deep breath in and an even longer breath out. And then following the breath with your inhale, we'll sweep the arms high overhead. And then as you exhale, drop your right hand down to the right side of your body. Start to reach the left fingertips up and over. Maybe even put a little pressure into the right hand so the left hip drops heavy. Think about rolling the left shoulder back to spin the heart open. Give yourself a breath to feel that length in the left side of your body first. Take a breath in. And then moving with the breath on the exhale, drop the left shoulder down. Feel like you're reaching the left fingertips towards the right side of your mat. Let the head hang heavy. And then for a moment, just try to get heavier in your left knee. And then the breath guides us here. So as you inhale, roll the left shoulder back. We spin the heart open. And then on the exhale, roll the shoulder down. Feel like you're reaching as far as you can, fingertips over and out. Last one here. Inhale, open up. And then as you exhale, roll it down and just hold for a moment. Maybe get a little heavier in the left hip. Feel that length you're creating in the left side of your body and maybe also the low back on the left side. We'll take one more breath in. And then with your exhale, you're going to walk your hands to center and just fold directly over both shins. Feel like you're just surrendering the upper body here so everything gets heavy. And then as you hold here, just feel your breath. Every breath in, the belly expands. Every breath out, we try to let the upper body get a little bit heavier. Let's go one more round of breath. And then very slowly begin to rise, one vertebra at a time. We're stacking the spine. Head is the last thing to lift. Just take a moment. Try to bring your physical body to stillness, but I want you to feel that internal movement of your breath. And then from this position, we'll find a table. So the journey there is up to you. You can bring the hands in front of you, roll over the shins, and then adjust so that your knees are underneath your hips. You can also swing the legs around. So take a moment to find your table. So if you need some extra padding, feel free to put a blanket underneath the knees. You're going to start by feeling your body in relationship to itself. So we want to find the arms about shoulder width apart with the shoulders stacked over the wrists. We're looking to find the legs about hip width apart with the hips stacked over the knees. And then today, I really want you to focus on getting strong in the center of your body. So ribs hug in, low belly tries to pull in. What tends to happen here is the hips like to tilt forward. So the belly kind of naturally drops. So your job is to pull the belly button in towards the spine. Also press into the hands so that your heart lifts away from the floor. So you're starting with that long line from the base of the spine to the crown of your head. Then from this position, we invite in some movement. So as you inhale, now we actively tilt the hips forward. Feel the belly drop, feel the ribs expand. Take the tips of the shoulder blades in towards the spine. And as you open up the heart, shift the gaze forward. And then on your exhale, press into the palms, tuck the hips under, round into the spine, and bring the chin to the chest. Try to create that space in between the shoulder blades here. Inhale, the belly drops, the heart lifts. And then on your exhale, rounding through the spine. And then you're just allowing your breath to guide your movements. And so I'd like for you to invite in whatever movement the body wants. It doesn't necessarily have to be me guiding you with my words. It's just that intuition that your body has of what's needed. So sometimes it's a forward and back. Sometimes it's some circles through the center of the body. Sometimes it even feels good to turn the hands in different directions. So you can turn them side to side, can flip the palms to face backwards so the fingertips are facing the knees. So a few breaths to just move, inviting in whatever it is your body's asking of you right now. We'll go one more round of breath. And then please come back into that neutral position. So again, press into the palms, heart is lifted. I'm going to ask that you take your right foot to the back of the mat, tuck the toes, and that way we can kind of press into the toes to engage the right thigh. So the back of the knee presses up. Now, as you extend your right foot back, check back in with the low belly. Sometimes as we do that, the hips like to tilt forward. So keep pressing the low belly in. And then from here, it's that muscle directly underneath your glute. Fire that up to lift your right heel up. And as the right foot lifts, again, check in with the low belly. Sometimes we kind of collapse here. So everything presses up, you hug in. And then if you're steady here, right fingertips extend, or right fingertips root down, left fingertips extend forward. You're finding that long line from the left fingertips to your right heel. And today I just want you to hold here. So it's like you're hugging all of your muscles into your bones to create more strength. The strength isn't coming from movement, it's coming from you thinking about getting stronger. So right now, imagine all of your strength and feel like you're hugging it in towards the center of your body. Take one more round of breath. Now, from here, keep your left arm where it is. Feel like you're turning your right toes out. Take your right foot over to the right so that it's in line with your left knee, and then set the right foot down. Soon as you're there, press into the right palm, reach the left fingertips up towards the sky. It's a little bit of rotation here. Think about opening up through the chest. Take a breath in. And then on your exhale, weave your left arm underneath the right. Feel like you are reaching for the right foot. So you might be able to find a grip on the foot, that you're welcome to take that. Otherwise, you're just imagining that one day you will get there. Start by pressing into the right hand to feel like you're rolling the right shoulder back. And then it's up to you. You might stay here. You might want to extend the right fingertips towards the top left corner of the mat, almost like you're reaching behind you so the right shoulder rolls back. Your other option would be to extend the right fingertips up towards the sky and then a half bind. You flip the right palm to face behind you, slide the back of the hand to the low back, and then maybe around to the inner left thigh. So just try to breathe into this rotation. Feel like you're using this twist to wring out whatever your body's holding on to right now. We'll go one more round of breath. And then any variation you took with your right arm, we're all going to meet back with the right palm rooted. Press into the right hand with your inhale, bring the left palm underneath the left shoulder, take the right knee back underneath the right hip, and then it's just time to move. So I want you to move mindfully here. Almost try to feel like you are moving everything you've just done around through the entire body. So it's like you're checking back in with this new body that you've created with the movement that you've already taken. And then we'll meet back together in that strong tabletop position. So heart is lifted, low belly's pulling in. From here, you're extending the left toes back and tucking the toes. So for a moment, take the time to engage the left thigh. Feel like you're pressing the back of the left knee up, and then lift the left heel in line with your hip. So as the left heel lifts, I want you to notice if the low belly's dropping down again, pull it back in. And then stay strong in the left arm. And if you're feeling steady here, right fingertips are going to extend forward with your bicep in line with your ear. So if it's okay on the shoulder, let's go for the palm facing in. Any shoulder issues with that, do what you need. But right now, I want you to feel the strength of the front of you and the back of you. So the left glute's engaging to help lift the heel. The upper back muscles on your right arm are helping to bring the bicep in line with your ear. Good. We'll take one more round of breath. So focusing on your left leg, turn the toes to face out, right arm stays where it's at. Start to swing the left leg over to your left. Set the sole of the foot down so that your toes are in line with your right knee. Once you're there, press into the left hand, extend the right fingertips up towards the sky. So take a breath in here. Think left ribs underneath the body as you roll the right shoulder back. And then on your exhale, weave the right arm underneath the left, reach for the left foot. So again, doesn't mean you have to actually touch the left foot. You're just reaching in that direction. Let's press into the left hand to create a little bit of a twist, rolling the left shoulder back. And then depending on how you're feeling, left fingertips towards the back right corner or the top right corner of your mat. Maybe fingertips extend high. Maybe you flip the palm behind you, wrap it around, find that half bind. And then I just want you to breathe into whatever shape your body is giving you right now. The fact that you are here and able to be on your mat is a gift in itself. So right now, your job is to thank your body with this movement. So let go of any judgments, let go of any expectations, and just find that gratitude for what your body is giving you. And then wherever you happen to be with your left arm, we're all going to root back down through the left hand, finding your way back into your table. So unraveling, palms underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, a few breaths to move that movement around. And then we'll come back into your table. So take a moment, try to have the second or the third fingers facing straight forward in this downward facing dog. Press into the palm so that your heart lifts. Let's tuck the toes, hover your knees. Keep a bend in your legs as you move the belly back towards the thigh. So I want you to think shoulders towards the back of your mat. Find a bent leg downward facing dog. So in this bent leg down dog, I want you to notice if the hips are really tilting forward or if your shoulders are forward. So as your heart moves back, think about lifting the tailbone towards the sky, almost like you're putting a small arch into the lower spine. And then at the same time, try to broaden through your upper back. So take the outer edges of the shoulders to the outer edges of your mat. Now, without letting your shoulders move forward, start to engage your thighs to straighten out your legs. With an exhale, let your heels fall as heavy as they will go. And then give yourself a breath in this down dog so that you can feel your body in this shape. So this is the only time you're going to feel this down dog in this moment because this moment's going to pass, right? So really feel this in your body. And then I want you to move in a way that gives back to your body based on how you're feeling. So that might be pedaling out the legs, might be swaying the hips, can shake the head yes and no to help release the neck, whatever you need. And then we'll just go one more round of breath in your movement in your down dog. And then come back into a place of stillness here. Heart moves back, hips lift high, and with the legs nice and strong, we're trying to let the heels drop down. Take a breath in, fill yourself up. As you breathe out, surrender into this shape. Now with your next breath in, please shift your gaze in between your thumbs as lightly as you can. We'll walk our feet to the top of the mat to come into the first forward fold of this practice. And this should feel like a pretty gentle fold for your body. So if you're feeling any tugging in the hamstrings or in the glutes, maybe put a soft bend into the knees. Take a little bit of pressure off the lower spine. You can let your arms hang heavy. You can grab onto the elbows. It might be that your body wants to move here. So allow yourself to move if that's what your body's calling for. And then eventually settle into a place of stillness. If they're not already, release the hands down to the mat. Feel yourself rooting down through the four corners of the feet. So now let's start to get a little stronger in the legs. With your inhale, we'll ride the breath to stand tall. Lift your arms all the way overhead. And then as you exhale, bring your hands together, heart center. And so I want you to use this moment to reset, recenter. Imagine you just stepped onto your mat in this body. So feel the four corners of the feet rooted, feel the strength of the legs extend all the way out through the crown of the head. Take a deep breath in and an even longer breath out. Now with your inhale, we'll sweep the arms high overhead. So biceps in line with your ears. Hold here for a moment. Check in. See if the hips have kind of pulled back. See if the ribs have kind of splayed forward. Think about taking your obliques, wrap them around in front of you so the ribs hug in. And at the same time, try to drop the tailbone down so we pull the low belly in and up. Now, in that strength of the center of you, we're going to find a twist. So I want you to start by extending your arms out wide, one long line, fingertip to fingertip, and then create the twist, keeping that line. So there's this tendency to want to pull the left arm across the body to feel like we're twisting deeper. Your left arm does not need to be in front of you. I just want you to see how far we can twist with the strength of your obliques. And then I also want you to notice if when we twist it, the hips are trying to assist. So if your right hip is pulling back, we're going to have to actively draw the right hip forward. So hold here for one more breath. And then on your inhale, let's sweep the arms high overhead so everything squares off to the top of your mat. And then again, drop the arms parallel to the earth. Think about opening up through the chest. And then the twist happens from the obliques, not the arms. So you keep the arms in this alignment, one long line, fingertip to fingertip. Remember, left hip on this side is going to want to pull back. So actively try to pull the left hip forward. Make sure the right arm's not trying to cross your body. One more round of breath. And then on your inhale, come back to center, arms lift high overhead. With your exhale, interlace the fingers behind the low back with the palms touching, open up through the chest. Let's bend into the knees, hinge at the hips. Think belly towards the thighs. And as your head hangs heavy, if it's okay on the shoulders, we'll let the hands come up and off the low back. So if for any reason this is not okay on the shoulders, just release your hands down to the earth. Wherever you're at, try to support your upper body with your thighs. And then as you breathe in, expand the belly towards the legs. As you breathe out, feel yourself relaxing a little bit more. One more breath in. And then on your exhale, very mindfully release your hands down to the earth. With an inhale, get strong in the legs. Let's take a halfway lift. So hands lightly to the front of the shins. Get really strong in the legs. With your exhale, bring your palms flat onto your mat. So sometimes to get the palms flat, we need to bend into the knees or we need to walk the feet back. Your job is to feel like you can press down into the earth. Start to shift the shoulders forward over the fingertips. So get heavy in the hands. Feel yourself getting lighter in your feet. And then with the weight in the hands, walk your feet back into a plank. So you're finding the plank that works for you here. Maybe it's on the toes, maybe we're dropping to the knees. No matter what, think of that tabletop strength you were creating. Low belly pulls in and up and you're pressing the heart away from the floor. Take a breath in. Exhale, shift your weight slightly forward. Please lower yourself all the way down to your mat, hugging the elbows in towards the side of the body. Once you're there, untuck the toes, press into the tops of your feet. So as we press into the tops of the feet, thighs get strong. Try to feel the kneecaps lifting up off your mat. From here, we're going to take the hands a little wider. Let's tent the hands so only the fingertips are touching. With an inhale, lift the head and the heart. So find that cobra-like shape. And then on your exhale, drop your right shoulder down, shift the gaze over the left. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, drop the left shoulder down, shift the gaze over the right. Inhale back to center. Now I want you to take this one more time on each side. Look for that opening in the front of the shoulder every time it drops inward. Again, making sure this feels okay on the shoulder joint specifically. And then the inhale, we meet together with the heart lifted. Take a breath in. Exhale, forehead to the earth. So as we move through these flows, you always have the option to have the palms underneath the shoulders. Front of the hips are rooted for your cobra. If you're feeling ready for a deeper back bend, we'll move the thumbs in line with the ribs. And on your inhale, lift the heart, the belly, and the hips Thighs are strong, knees are lifted if we're taking that upward facing dog. Exhale, take your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. And then a breath to feel this shape in your body. Now with your inhale, please lift your right leg high. So take the right foot as high as you can and then bend into the right leg. Think right heel towards the left hip. As you do this, feel the strength of your left thigh. Try to drop the left heel down. Then maybe see if we can engage the right glute to lift the right knee a little bit higher. Take a breath in. Exhale, please bring the right knee tight into your chest. We're going to step the right foot in between the hands at the top of your mat. So a lot of times we have to take a few steps to end up with the front knee over the ankle, back heel over the toes. Give yourself plenty of time. Take your time, no rush. And then once you have that nice wide stance, I'm going to have you drop your back knee down, untuck your back toes. So from here, get a little lighter in the fingertips. Feel yourself lifting the heart. Please take your right hand to the inside edge of your right foot. So in this moment, enjoy the opening in the front of the left hip. I want you to feel like you're pressing into the right heel and dragging the right heel back. And then as the right heel drags back, it's like you're trying to move the left hip forward. And as you create that space in the front of the left hip, you are breathing into that space. So right now you're feeling the strength of the right leg. You're feeling the opening in the front of the left hip. One more round of breath. Now, with both hands to the inside edge of the right foot, start to straighten out your right leg. So we're stacking the hips over the left knee. Now, you're going to walk your hands to the left edge of the mat. I'm going to turn my back to you so you can see what we're doing here. Take the left foot to the right edge of your mat. Spin the right heel down so that the sole of the foot is rooted, toes are facing the left edge of the mat. And then you're going to stack your shoulders over your hips. So we're coming into gate pose here. Now I'll turn to flip and face you. So you stay where you're at. In this moment, glutes are strong. So sometimes there's this tendency to have the hips back. Think about stacking all of your joints. Once you're there, we'll extend the arms out wide. Flip the left palm up, reach the left arm up and over. Find that length on the left side of the body. Notice if the hips want to press back. Try to engage the glutes here. And as you breathe in, expand into the left ribs. As you breathe out, maybe reach a little further over to the right. And then on your inhale, so listen carefully. I want you to imagine that you're holding onto a rope. I'm going to ask that you stack the shoulders over the hips, but that rope is almost keeping you there. So it's this big, deep crunching action in the obliques to stack your shoulders over the hips. So just a little bit more of an intentional movement. Once you're there, take your left hand down to the earth, reach the right fingertips up towards the sky with the palm facing forward. And then if it feels okay, we're going to lift your right leg up. So you're working that outer edge of the glute. I also want you to think top of the right hip towards the bottom of the right ribs, bottom of the right ribs towards the top of the hip. So now your right obliques are nice and strong. Let's go one more round of breath. And then we're going to set the sole of the right foot down. Take both hands in front of you like you would for a table, but keep your right leg extended. As you inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart like you did for that cow shape. And then on your exhale, tuck the hips under, press into the palms, round into the spine. So one more just like this. And then please take your right knee back underneath your hip. Get strong in the arms from here. Tuck the toes, hover the knees, press the belly back towards the thighs, lift the hips high to the sky, and then let the heels drop low. Give yourself a full cycle of breath. And then with your inhale, we'll shift the gaze in between the thumbs. So your choice on how you make your way to the top of the mat. Walk it up, jump it up, float it up, however you want to find a forward fold. Once you're there, fully release with your exhale. On an inhale, we rise, lift the arms high. Now we're finding that twist. So again, drop the arms parallel to the earth, palms facing forward. And then we're going to turn so that the heart spins open to the left first. So make sure we're drawing the left hip forward. We're twisting from the center of your body. On your inhale, come back to center, arms lift high overhead. Drop the arms, palms face forward. And then the strength of the obliques creates the twist to the other side. So now we're spinning the heart open to the right. Make sure the right hip hasn't tried to draw back. Keep pressing it forward. On the inhale, we'll come back to center. And then on your exhale, just take a fold. Inhale to find a halfway lift, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, palms to your mat. So you decide on how you want to find this downward facing dog. Feel free to walk the feet back into plank and maybe just go straight back to down dog. Feel free to take any flow you'd like. So on the knees, on the toes, just try to feel yourself moving with the rhythm of your own breath. Always remembering that the journey is yours, but we can always end up together. And we will do that in downward facing dog. So let's go full cycle of breath. And then with your inhale, please lift your left leg high. So right leg stays strong, right heel stays heavy. Think about taking the left heel towards the right hip. Try to engage the left glute to lift the left knee. Take a breath in. And then on your exhale, please bring your left knee tight into the chest. We're stepping the left foot in between the hands at the top of the mat. So we want to feel like the feet are in line with the hips, not like we're standing on railroad tracks or balance beam. Take a moment to maybe widen your stance. And then drop your back knee down, untuck the toes. So just by dropping the right knee, see if you can start to feel that release in the front of the right hip. And then from here, we're going to take both hands to the inside edge of the left foot. And you just have a few breaths to enjoy that release. But remember, to get a deeper release here, we find more strength in the left leg. So try to draw the left heel back, breathe into the front of the right hip. We'll go one more round of breath. And then we'll start by pressing into the left heel to straighten out your left leg. So this is just to help shift your hips back over your right knee. Then you're walking your hands over to the right side of the mat. Your right foot's going to spin behind you. And with the left leg nice and strong, you're rooting down through the sole of the foot. So I'm going to switch legs just so that I can mirror you, but you stay right where you're at. So from here, stack the shoulders over the hips. Think about engaging the glute. So again, you have that long line. So what I mean here is sometimes this tends to happen without us even realizing it. So just feel your body. Then from here, let's extend the arms out wide, open up through the heart. We'll flip the right palm up, right arm reaches up and over to the left. Think about sliding the left hand down in the direction of the left ankle. So you're finding all of this space in the right side of you. And then your job is to breathe into that space. It's like your breath is making you even more expansive. So be okay with taking up room right now. So in this next step, I want you to feel the strength of your right obliques. You can just come back up to center, but I want you to feel like you're moving slower. So more intentional in your movements. It's like you're dragging your ribs down. Again, imagine that you're holding onto a rope or my hand and I'm trying to pull you that way, but your obliques are so strong that it brings your shoulders back over your hips. And then from here, you'll take your right hand down to the earth, left fingertips extend towards the sky. So already you can create this crunching action. It's like left ribs are drawing down towards your hip. To get a little bit more strength, we're lifting the left foot up, making sure the hips haven't pressed back. So keep feeling like the hips are moving forward. Find that strength in your obliques. You're also going to find that strength in your glute probably. Good. One more round of breath. Then we're going to set the sole of the left foot down, toes are facing forward. Take your hands in front of you, so almost like that tabletop position. Left leg extends long and strong. And then on your inhale, tilt the hips forward, the belly drops, the heart lifts. Exhale, we round. One more round of breath. And then we're going to come back into your table. So left knee underneath your hip, shoulders are over the wrists. From here, let's tuck the toes, hover the knees, find your downward facing dog. Full cycle of breath here. Now, on this next jump to the top of the mat or walk to the top of the mat, I want your feet to end up to the outside edge of your hands. So, however you want to get there, you should end up with your feet wider than your hips, and then find your fold here. Let your upper body hang heavy. Maybe shift a little bit more weight towards the balls of the feet so that we can really stack the hips in line with the heels. And it might feel good to move a little bit. So you can pedal out the legs, bend into one knee and then the other. Maybe grab onto the elbows and feel like you're swaying the body in between the shins. One more round of breath. And then we're going to bring the palms underneath the shoulders. So take a moment, lengthen through the spine. Let's turn the heels in so the toes can turn out. Bend into the knees and start to drop your hips. So I'm dropping my hips all the way in between the heels, but that does not mean that's where you have to go. You're going to go where your knee and your hips allow for you to be. So that might be hips a little more in line with the knees. Your job is to just find a long line from the base of the spine to the crown of the head, hands together at your heart. Take a deep breath in. And then on your exhale, bring your hands to the earth, lift the hips, straighten out your legs, heel toe the feet into hip width apart. Exhale, we fold. So moving with the breath, inhale, we rise, lift the arms high. Exhale, hands together at your heart. And then it's that moment to feel this new body that you've been creating. Now with your inhale, we'll sweep the arms high. On your exhale, take a fold. On your inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, palms to the earth. You get to choose how you find your downward facing dog. So it's almost like this is your moving meditation. Move in a way that suits your body. Move in a way that is only for you. And then once you're there, take a breath in. Even longer breath out. Now on your inhale, please lift your right leg high, bend into the right leg and stack your hips. Exhale, we're going to bring the right knee to the outside edge of the right elbow, shoulders over the wrist. Hold for a moment, try to hover. See if we can lift the left knee closer to the shoulder. Inhale, take it up and back, stack your hips. Exhale, cross it under, right knee to the left elbow. Hold, maybe lift a little higher. Inhale, take it up and back, stack your hips. Exhale, bring the right knee tight into the chest. Step your right foot in between the hands at the top of your mat. So this time, left leg's going to stay lifted. Think back of the left knee towards the sky. Root down through the left hand. Start with the right hand to the top of the thigh so you can feel that rotation. And then once the right shoulder is stacked on top of the left, we'll extend the right fingertips towards the ceiling. So in this moment, I really want you to feel the strength of your left arm. And as you press into the left arm, you're trying to bring the left ribs underneath the body. So that's working into that inner strength. That's working into that core strength of you. You might stay right here. You also have the option to roll to the outside edge of the left foot, stack the right foot on top of the left Vashisthasana. If this Vashisthasana doesn't feel good, you can drop down to the elbow. You can also drop the left knee down. So you've already been there before. That's always an option for you. You also have the option to bring the right foot in front of you. Now, to take it one step further, you've probably already gone into your side plank, but you can always take your two peace fingers, wrap them around the big right toe, then roll to the outside edge of the left foot and see if we can take the right leg up with us. So keep in mind, there's not one way that's better than another, but there might be one way that is better for you, and that's what you're going for. Wherever you're at, hold for another 3, 2, on 1, let's meet together in plank. And then I'm going to ask that you hold this plank. So hug all of your muscles in towards your bones. Without moving anything, feel yourself getting stronger. Take a breath in. And then with your breath out, shift your weight slightly forward, lower all the way or halfway down. Inhale, tops of the feet to the mat. Lift your heart, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, take your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Longer breath out. And then on your inhale, let's take your left leg high, bend into the left leg, open up your hips. As you exhale, left knee to the outside edge of the left elbow, try to hover and maybe lift it higher. Inhale, take it up and back. Exhale, cross it under, left knee to the right elbow, shoulders move over the wrist, hold. Inhale, take it up and back. Exhale, left knee tighten to the chest. We'll step the left foot in between the hands at the top of your mat. So give yourself a moment here. And then root down through the right hand. Take the left hand to the top of the thigh. So think right ribs underneath the body. And then if it's okay on the shoulder, left fingertips extend. So in this revolve lunge, you're feeling the strength of your right shoulder, the entire right arm as you push into the earth. And then it's that twisting sensation where the obliques are being recruited to help with this twist. And then from here, any version of a side plank. So I'm going to go backwards this time from most challenging. So take the two peace fingers around the big left toe, roll to the outside edge of the right foot, and then lift the left leg high for your side plank. Maybe we just stack the feet. Maybe the left foot's in front of the right. Maybe we have the right knee down, left foot up. Forearm is also an option for your right side. And so right now you are just honoring the strength that is within you. Everything's hugging in for another 3, 2, on 1. Let's meet in that plank position, and you're going to hold your plank. Doesn't matter what it looks like, but I just want you to feel your strength again. Hug everything in even tighter. And then move with your breath, and together we're going to find a downward facing dog. And then your down dog gives you that moment to reset. You breathe in and you breathe out. And that's all that ever really matters. In every moment of our life, we have our breath. Everything else changes. At some point, life changes. But just being able to continuously come back to this breath that is ours, that belongs to you, that gives you this life. Take a breath in. On your exhale, please drop down to your knees, untuck your toes. We'll sit the hips back in the direction of the heels. If it's okay for your shoulders, really think about extending the fingertips forward towards the top of your mat. Try to find length in the sides of the body. And then eventually, if it's okay for you, we're walking the hands over to your right. So it's like you're letting the body drape over the right thigh. Maybe even shift the hips a little to the left. And now it's like you're releasing all of that work that you've done. This is the beautiful part of life. We have these contrasting experiences. We just strengthened the obliques. We just hugged everything in. And now we get to expand and we get to open and we get to breathe a little more freely. Let's go one more round of breath. And then we'll walk the hands back through center, take them over to the left, maybe shift your hips a little to the right, really find that opening on the right side of the body. Sometimes that means we drop the right shoulder down. Sometimes it means we lift the right shoulder up. So remember that this practice is your own experience in this moment. So sometimes that means we need to explore and see what's needed for us. Let's go one more full cycle of breath. And then just come back to center in a child's pose, but let this be a soft child's pose now. So even if you'd like to keep the arms extended forward, think about putting a soft bend into the elbows so the shoulders can relax. It might feel good to feel like you're reaching the fingertips towards the toes so the front of the shoulders can roll forward and the arms can get a little heavier. Or just feel like you're coming back home to yourself right now. And use the breath to ground you in this moment. Take one more deep breath in. And as you exhale, let everything else go. Then very slowly begin to rise, stack the shoulders over the hips. I'm gonna have you swing your legs around in front of you. So legs will extend out long. You might want to take your seat a little closer to the top of the mat. Feel yourself stacking the spine, reach the fingertips forward with the palms facing one another. Very mindfully lower yourself all the way down. And then as your head and your shoulders touch, we'll hug the knees in the direction of your shoulders. So a little bit of space between the knees here. Think about drawing them down towards the earth. It might feel good to move here. Just try to drop the tailbone down. So as much as you can, think low back rooted so we can lengthen into the lower spine. And then you might want to move into a full happy baby. So if that's your option, flex into the ankles, press the heels towards the ceiling. Feel like you're drawing the knees alongside the body. And then again, just notice a lot of times the low back wants to lift up. So as much as you can, drop it down. Doesn't mean it has to touch, but work in that direction. And then any movement you'd like here. Straighten out one or both legs. Find a gentle rocking, whatever you'd like. And then take a moment to come back to center. Let's try to keep the feet wider than the hips and with a bend in the knees, place the soles of the feet to the outside edges of your mat. If the shoulders are okay with it, reach the arms overhead so that the back of the arms are really heavy. And then let both knees drop down and over to your right. So as that left leg falls inward, you're looking for release in the front of the left thigh, front of the left hip, all the way up to the left fingertips. Maybe feel like you're reaching behind you a little bit more. And I'd like for you to take whatever adjustments you need to find that opening sensation in the left side of the front side of your body. So there might be left foot back, might be left heel in. And then just breathe. We'll go 2 more breaths. And then very mindfully come back to center. So try to keep the feet nice and wide. Take that on the other side. Both knees drop down and over to your left. Maybe we adjust the right foot a little. So you're looking for that releasing sensation, front of the right thigh, front of the right hip. And then it's like you're breathing deeper into the front of the right side of your body. Give yourself a full cycle of breath. And then very mindfully come back to center. Let your upper body get heavy. Maybe take a moment to lengthen through the spine. Start by finding a comfortable place for your arms. So that might be one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. It might be arms extended out. Just feel the weight of your upper body. And then move into your Shavasana. So that might be heels towards the top corners of the mat, extending the legs long. It might feel good to stay grounded through the soles of your feet. It might also feel good to bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees drop open. And if you have any props at home, please feel free to set yourself up with whatever props you would need. I just want you to find that place where you feel fully supported so that in that support, you give yourself the freedom to let go. And then once you're there, take a moment, adjust if needed, and then feel yourself getting even heavier and settle into that deep sense of stillness. And please know you are welcome to stay in Shavasana as long as you'd like. Or if you're ready to emerge, just start to bring awareness back into your body. And as you do, begin to invite some movement back into your body. So you can start by wiggling the fingers and the toes. You can find some circles with the wrists and the ankles. And then if and when it feels okay for you, just working into a full body stretch, breathing life back into your entire body, arms overhead, legs long and strong. And then with your exhale, we'll hug the knees into the chest, maybe giving yourself a moment for movement here if that would feel good. And then eventually rolling onto either side of your body. And once you're there, sealing off your practice with a deep breath in and a complete breath out. And from here, we'll press into the palms and find our way back to a comfortable seat facing the top of your mat. Try to keep your eyes closed and keep your heart open. And then with an inhale, we'll sweep the arms high overhead. And as you exhale, bring your hands together, heart center. Thank you so much for stepping onto your mat today. Thank you for sharing your strength, your grace, and your amazing energy. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste. Thank you so much. I'll see you later.